All right, everyone. Say this is a an abnormal video of Mr. Macnotech. I haven't really done any videos on affixing, mostly because I'm definitely a bit of an affixing noob. It goes without saying that it's a pretty complex system. But at first for me, it was extremely overwhelming, and it was for a lot of reasons. One, because it was expensive, and every time I kind of blew an item up, it was not pretty. But I'm just going to walk you through a very basic process of what I do to affix an item. So in this case, I've got a unit that's pretty terrible, but if I give it some abilities, it's actually going to be one of the better tanky-ish units. That's the Azane unit for the legs. Anyway, some of the key items you want to make sure before you start affixing, get whatever ability success rate up items that you can. I already pulled some out of my inventory, I think, earlier, but the things we're looking at are like these ability success rate. I mean, ideally, you're going to want like the 30% or the 40%, which you can buy from the X Cube shop. 30% are pretty cheap, but the 40% is 100 X Cubes, so not the cheapest. What are some other things we might need? I mean, that's it for the most part. I do have some abilities, I think, though, that I can add. I think I've got a stamina 3 somewhere in here. Where would I be hiding that? If I had an ability, where would I hide it? Maybe all storage? All right, that's probably going to be helpful. Oh, here we go. Spirit a boost. I'm not going to add that. I have a stamina somewhere. I think I have a shoot too, but I'm going to do stamina. Okay. So, not everyone's going to have all these things laying around that I have, but I want to at least give a demo of what some of these things do. And you can buy a lot of these on the player shops. Anything that says add ability, especially a shoot, is going to be really expensive. Somewhere, depending on the ship. I mean, it might be, 6-7 million, or it could be, 20 million, depending on the ship you're on. Ship 10 is pretty forgiving. So you can get these for a lot cheaper than other ships. Go ship 10. Anyway, I mean, I can buy Tech 2, I think, for 2 million. I can buy Tech 3 for, I think, like 6 million. So it's not bad. And certainly is going to vary depending on demand. But anyway, play Force. It's cheaper. So let's go ahead and let's start affixing. So, and I'm not going to call myself, again, I'm still a noob. So I'd love to see some people commenting on some suggestions. I know that what I'm going to do is, it's a decent number of affixes that'll help. But it's probably not going to be perfect, and I'd love to get better myself. So feel free to add comments in this video. Anyway, so the item that we're going to try to upgrade is, where's it hiding? It's called the Izane. There we go. Thunder Izane Suchi. So you'll notice it's 12-star unit. It has absolute garbage affixes on. First thing I usually tell people is, don't worry about what's on the item to begin with for the most part, because chances are you're going to go through the process of upslotting abilities, which is adding more slots and more abilities to this that may be garbage as well. And the reason why you do that is it's easier to get a higher success rate if you aren't upslotting. So get to the slots you want. Like if you need, in this case, I'm going to go for 5 slots. I think that's a pretty safe number. I could go for 6, I suppose, but we're gonna go for 5, and then we're gonna do our harder affixes. So we're gonna start with this guy here. Okay, so let's look for some crappy items I have. So here's a real crappy one. We're gonna affix an additional slot. So we're not gonna add our special abilities in. This is something we save for the end. If you have any of these add abilities, save those things for the end, because they're 100% fix rate, and you just don't want to screw them up until you get your total number of slots. So we're going to say don't use anything. Great. Okay, we're just going to pick all these abilities. Oh, holy crap. We're not 100%. Okay, not a big deal. That's what we expect. It's 100% what we expect. And that's where these come in. So what you're going to end up doing is and you don't have to do it this way. You could actually play, I mean, like, we could just not do this, and watch what's gonna happen. This could be really bad. I could I gotta end up with 0 slots, but that's why we're doing this. Oh, hey, okay, we got lucky. Don't do that. I'm serious. Do not do what I just did. Spend the X cubes to get the ability up. Do 100% affixes. It'll be a whole lot less painful. I mean, the RNG is so cruel. I've had 95 or 90%, shoot me in the foot. So anyway, we got lucky, and I was fine doing that because it was only at it only had 2 crappy slots, and hey, what's big? Not a big ordeal to up slot from 1 or 2 if we lost something. But anyway, so now we're big boys. We're gonna try to not lose anything now, because we want to get up to 5 slots. That's the goal. Okay, so we're gonna pick these crappy abilities again, because crappy abilities are easy to up slot. Oh, we're not gonna use that. That is, actually, here, this is a good point. So anytime you use more than one weapon or more than one item as fodder, you're going to get an improved success rate. That is good to know. But anyway, we just want crap right now. Like ability 3, that sounds fantastic, and we're gonna get that, but we're not gonna get that right away. Okay, the goal is just to get as close to the number. We want to get the number of slots we want first, and then we'll worry about the fancy stuff. Don't worry about the fancy stuff till later. That's the key. Okay. All right. Look, 100%. You can't fail on 100%. Remember that. Cannot fail if it says 100%. Super important. Anyway, you this is not a system to be taken lightly. But you'll see, I'm trying to, see, that's ugly. So, and there's not really anything we can do about it other than, maybe we add another bad one. Maybe that's going to help. I don't know. Let's find out. Just keep on adding. See, 70%. Do you see that? It was 60% before, but we added a second item. Now we're at 70%. Okay, fantastic. Again, a little bit. I'm not a master at this. I'm just going with what I've done in the past. So we're gonna begin adding. Success, 100%. All right, fantastic, right? We're in a good place. Now here's the deal. So with affixing, once you get, let's say a 5 slot unit or a 5 slot weapon, you can only use items that have the exact same number or higher as fodder. So now all these 4 slotters, they're trash, at least for this stage of the game. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, hey, unit, cool. So some of the things I want to do, I want to add Aries the Soul on here. I want to add my stamina item that I've got. Probably a stamina 3 as well. Probably not going to go stamina 4 because I'm just trying to be semi-careful, and I don't think is a massive difference in health. Maybe we'll add Doom Break. I don't know. We'll see. So to make Aries the Soul, we do need Historia Soul. Now this does seem like a little bit of a waste using a 7 slot, but I don't know if I have a 5 slot with Historia on it. We'll look though. Okay, we do need Rock Bear. So Rock Bear is a free field soul. So you combine that with an Earth Soul like Historia, and all of a sudden, watch this. Oh, did I not do that right? Is Rock Bear? Wait a second. Hold up. Interesting. I could have sworn. Well, let's keep an eye open for Aries. I could have sworn that Historia worked with it. What happens if we do this? No? One of these? Any of them? Any of them? No? Alright, well, we're gonna have to figure out which one does mix with it. I thought Historia worked with it. We might have to go buy an item real quick. One thing I will always recommend doing is using an Affix simulator. Oh, interesting. So that one already has Historia Soul. But we don't want that. We want Aries. So that one, see, that has Aries. But again, to get Aries, typically, at least to my knowledge, I thought it was just a free field soul. Maybe Rock Bear does not work. Maybe we have to go buy one real quick. So give me 1 second. We're just going to kind of pause, and I'll be right back. Okay, continuing where we left off, Macnotech is a noob. So Rock Bear does not work for Aries, FYI. I thought it was any free field, so I'm like, oh, hey, Rock Bear, that's the first one I can think of. I know Snow works for sure. This is probably going to get expensive. Oops. I'm going to put this in here. Let's just find, we're going to find the cheapest unit with 5 slots. Let's just see what happens. No soul. Hey, that isn't too bad. That's not too bad at all. 52k, I think that's cheaper than my Rock Bear one cost. So we'll just pretend that that whole last thing didn't happen, even though it's going to be immortalized on YouTube. Anyway, I mean, this is really what affixing is all about, right? A little bit of trial and error. Always use the affixing simulator, which I'll put in the comments. It will make you not waste 90,000 on units you don't need. Okay, so we don't want to grind. We want to add abilities. So let's find this unit, which has 5 slots. Where the hell are you? Here we go. Okay. So we ignore Rock Bear, FYI. We are going to try adding Doombreak. So just got to keep an eye on that. But I think I have some stuff that has Doombreak and ability 3. So we'll just see. That's got mutation ability 3. Let's just go ahead and add that because I think I do want that. We'll see. We'll see what we've got enough stuff for. You know what I mean? It's Doom 3. Okay, great. Where on earth is my new Snow Soul? Oh, there's Stamina 3. Problem is, there's so many abilities I want. I'm gonna have to pick and choose. So we're gonna test to see what we have. Really, the goal of this is to be a bit more tanky. That's all we're going for. Tanky. So okay, here's a Historia Soul. Great. I might have a Historia Soul with better abilities though. So let's keep an eye on that. Gotta find that Snow Soul. Not the Aries the Soul. Here we go, Snow Soul. Okay, so now you'll see Aries the Soul. Yay, that's what we want. It's a good kind of all-purpose fix. I mean, for a lot of units too, you're gonna probably go for a more specialized unit where it's focused on one stat. I'm just going for an all-purpose one for the sake of this. I mean, you know, the Azana units are kind of all-purpose. They've got a bunch of health, a bunch of defense. You know, they're not like the Chalra or the Claudum or the Allure where it's focused on one stat. I mean, you know, it's really driven towards a specific type of class build. This is really going for the all-purpose. Anyway, let's just take a look at what we've got. Sure, we'll show what that ability looks like. So Aries, not a big deal, right? 80%. We got Gray Stamina. That's that item that I added. So now we have 3 slots to work with. I don't have Stamina 3, which is actually something I probably should add, not Stamina 2. So we may shuffle these around a little bit. Ability. Okay, see, and as long as we're at 60%, we're good. So the more items you add with the same ability, you know, the higher chance you're going to have. I think there's a cap on that. But anyway, 60% is good because we can add a 40% success rate item. That's good. So 60% is really the lowest thing you ever want to see, in my opinion. You know, you could try RNG, but you know, it's shot me in the foot so many times. I mean, we could do mutation. We could do Doombreak. I mean, we could do both of these. What does that give us? So if we add this, so the base I think of Azane is 20s, right? So we have 20. We end up with 25, 40, 55, 65. So it's not bad. I mean, it's like I said, all purpose, and we get additional health, which is pretty solid. So it's definitely going to be a step up from the Stellar Wall, which I'm currently using in that slot for this character, and I could replace all my Stellar Walls with this. Another thing I could do. So I mean, to do this, okay, I could just do this right now, and I probably will. But I just want to show you, you know, when you use the ability success rate up, obviously we're 100%, so there's no chance of failure. But let's say I didn't want to do that. let's say I just wanted to do, you know, maybe another up slot, which is kind of crazy. And I'm not going to do this because it's just, now it gets expensive, right? Because now if I want to up slot, I'm going to have to use a 40% increase just to get it up to 6 slots, right? And then the next time I'm going to have to fix something else. And if you looked at my items, like I don't have that many. I mean, I put a lot of my units in here, but I mean, as you can see, I mean, it's pretty hard to come by a lot of 6, 7 slot units. So, like I said, for me personally, this is just me, you know, 5 seems like a safe amount. It's not too expensive. It's still going to be pretty, you know, 4, I think a lot of people aim for 4, but I think 5 is doable without a whole lot of effort. So let's just go ahead and do this. Or you know, maybe we can look at, let's see what abilities we added. So again, this is trial and error. So I definitely want Doom Break 1 and ability 3. We don't necessarily need this Doom Break because it doesn't really come with any other abilities we want, right? So we can improve our chances in theory if we find something that's a better match. So this is a decent one. It's got mutation and ability 3. That's the kind of thing we want. That's just ability 3. Come on, we got anything else? Ability. We got Doom Break. Lots of Doom Break. All right, maybe that's what we're going to do. Oh, hey, Doom Break and mutation. Does that help our chances? Let's see. So Airy is still the same. Doom Break's still the same. Mutation is still the same. Okay, I guess we're all pretty much the same. We've got all these kind of add to everything. You know, it'd be nice to be able to do Doom Break 2. Doom Break 2 is the challenging one though. You're gonna have a tough time, I think, adding that. How do we add that? If we just were to pull, I just want to show it as an example. Okay, let's just pull that. Add another Doom Break. And mutation. Yeah, that's fine. Here we go. Look at that. 20%. That is scary. And yes, you would get 10 more of all 3 attacks, but there's some risk there, right? So I mean, you could play the game of trying to get multiple Doom Break 2s and then adding them, but yeah, I'm good on that. I mean, for what I'm doing, for the purpose of this, I'm trying to show kind of the safe way to affix. Really basic, nothing too fancy here. So let's just go ahead. I mean, it's not a terrible idea to use that though. I don't remember which one I was using before. Probably just this one. Okay. So we're just going to do it. Okay. We're going to do Aries. We're going to do ability. We're going to do mutation. We're going to do Doom Break. And now again, base is 20. We're going to be adding 25. So that's 45, 60, 70, 85, and a bunch more stamina. And if I want to compare it to what I was using before, Stellar Wall, which it has great affixes. I mean, the defenses are kind of they're okay. I mean, defense in this game is not ultra important, as many have told me. But I mean, it doesn't have terrible affixes. Right? It's got Vinculum on it, which, you know, gives a pretty decent chunk of attack. It's got ability. It's got Aries. It's got a lot of things that you would just want to have. And if we were trying to really min-max, we try to push this a little bit further. But again, this is kind of a demo, so let's just do it. Can always fix it later. That's the beauty of the affixing system. If you make a mistake, it could be costly. You certainly want to use things like Grace Stamina sparingly or Elegant Stamina sparingly. Elegant's pretty cheap, actually, but Grace is not cheap. So yeah, let's I like to do soul first. I don't know what other people like to do, but then we can, you know, add doom break, mutation, ability 3. And you know, here, let's just show what it would look like. Oh, look how ugly that is. You try to upslot from that, not pretty. So let's stick with 100%. Okay. All right, are we ready? We're gonna do it? All right, let's do it. Bam. Okay. So it all was successful. Not the best of fixes on the planet, but certainly not the worst. But now look at the stats. We've got 85 to all. The defenses don't look great because we haven't grinded it yet. So you do need to grind the units to get the most out of them for defenses. But look, we have all these fun little affixes. And we have a bunch load more health. So in fact, before I even grind it, let's just go ahead and put it on. Just to see what the stat difference is. Armors. Okay, armor. I actually want to use this on my force as well. I wanted extra health, so I was kind of desperate, which is part of the reason why I chose to use my gray stamina. But anyway, what you can see here is, you know, at first glance, my PP goes down a little bit, hit points go up, my attacks go up, which is important. Okay, and like I said, my defenses go down right now. But let's go ahead and talk to the grinder. Let's go ahead. Oops, sorry. Where are you, Zane? Rarity. Zane. Okay. Look at that. We got a grind skip item. Can't beat that. Okay, so it's going to skip us to 5. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's just go to 10. What does it cost? Grinders and money. We can do this. Oh, it failed. Okay, maybe I've got some support items that'll help. Let's take a look. This is another good thing to look at. Grind risk reduction. Let's take one of those. And let's take 75 of those. Why not? We're not going to use that many, I hope. I'm not honestly sure what the success rate is. I think with rings, it's like 80% for most rings, except for effort symbol. But let's take a look. Wait, no. Rarity. Here we go. Okay, so you can see here, grind -1 is risk, so we have a chance of losing risk. Now we don't. I mean, we have a chance of losing a grind. Now we don't. Okay, it may not be successful, but at least we don't lose anything. I also don't have to click. I recommend not clicking, but, you know, here we go. All right. Starting to see some improvements in that defense. Oh, come on now. Oh, yeah, I could use it too. I'm not going to, though. We're just going to go for it. Again, this is meant to be a trial and error video. A noob teaching noobs. You know, the reality is that I know for a fact, because I've built a lot of other units. I'll show you a couple others that I've built, which I'm sure people will tell me is, oh, hey, what are we at now? We're at 9. Let's just go ahead and use it. See if we can get the 10. Yeah, we get the 10. Okay, well, anyway, we got our unit. I want to compare it to some of the other ones I have, so you can see those as examples of probably better ways to affix. I mean, most people will tell you, you know, go for the most offensive for that one primary stat you want, which I agree with for the most part. Like, once you get good at dodging and evading things, it's not really a big deal having a big pool of health and defense. It's just kind of unnecessary stats, right? But the game takes a lot of practice to get there. I'm still not there. So I still use a lot of defensive units as I'm learning the class, and I do play all the classes because that's just how I play MMOs. Then I usually pick one class I like the most once I've got them all up to level cap, and I go with that. So what I was going to do is show you the Asana unit now that we've got it all grinded up. Okay, so now you can see we have improvements pretty much across the board. Probably the biggest differences being I've got more health, got more defense, but also a little bit of a bonus to S attack, R attack, T attack. So in the end, not bad. Some people would want the extra photon points. I have a lot of other items that can help with that, and I'm not sure that my braver is necessarily going to suffer a whole lot from -2. So let's go ahead, put it on. Boom. Okay, so now we've got Nizane. We have now, once we escape, now we've gone up in health. So you really ugly. I mean, I bet if you had the armor, they wouldn't look so bad, but we're also going to go ahead and show everyone how to do this, which is hiding the unit. There we go. Much better. All right. Yay. Huzzah. Huzzah. And just, you know, to cover all the bases, let's just show you. Like, so I've got a five unit right now. So if I want to do something to this, let's say I want to change it. Again, I have all these other abilities, all these other, you know, things here. But here, I'm just going to pick a bunch of them. I just want to show you that not everything that I have there is going to be there, or not everything I have existing is going to show up. So again, to make Ares the soul, you need an earth soul like Historia, and you need to combine it with a free field soul like Snow Soul or Varda Soul, something like that. So one of the free field bosses, not Rock Bear, as we learned. Doombreak requires multiple copies of Doombreak on items as fodder to put it on. So unless we do that, we're not going to see Doombreak. Mutations the same way. Ability, we do have. So that's not a big deal. And Grace Stamina is probably the biggest thing to point out. So Grace Stamina is a special item. People get those from AC Scratches, and then they sell them. You can sometimes get them for cheap. Sometimes people don't know what their value is, and you get lucky like I did. I have actually managed to get, I have done some AC Scratching myself, and I've gotten, you know, a few decent things. But, you know, it's not for everyone. And you don't necessarily need it. I mean, you don't need all of the best affixes to succeed in this game. But it's good to understand the system enough to where you can improve. And over time, you're going to have more money, you're going to have more items, more affixes to play with, and it's just going to get easier and easier and easier as you go. So yeah, that's all I got. All right, have a good one. Take care. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was not, sorry. If it was, awesome. And if you've got some just basic suggestions, I know there's a lot of diehard people that play PSO2, you know, add tips at the bottom, you know, tell them that I don't know what I'm doing. And, you know, give me some additional tips for people to check out. It was meant to be kind of a, you know, newbie's guide to basic affixes. But yeah, take care.